Sorry about that, Kolya. So how are you doing, Kolya? What's up? Alright, so immediately you're gonna notice that I didn't start moving. That's because when you start in, or whenever you first enter a room in this game, you're stuck in this standing still state. And that's following a cutscene, and all of the cycles in this game are actually ongoing during that cutscene. So the first time you enter a room, you're gonna see me do something different than every other time I enter a room. The fastest form of movement, as you see here, is me diving around. The reason I didn't dive at the start is because you can't change direction or adjust for collision when diving. So you're just gonna smack an object and then sit at the bottom of it. Nothing you can do about it. So this is a new strat that was found to jump over that little railing. It saves a little bit of time skipping a cutscene. You'll also notice that every time I do a 3-hit combo on these monkeys, the alert that starts at the top cancels. That's because an alert's not actually called in until after you see that little radar on the bottom right turn fuzzy. Additionally, whenever I land that third hit, something flies out of them. If you've played MGS2, you'll recognize that as a dog tag, or in this case, it's a monkey tag. The goal of this run is to collect all 20 of those monkey tags, as well as free a total of 30 prisoners that exist in this game, which we will be getting to later. Unfortunately, to start freeing prisoners, we need an item we do not have yet. So we're going to spend minimal time in each of these zones in order to get through each of them in as quick as possible to get the item we need, because in this category we have to revisit each of them. So this is pineapple grenades. We're standing on a spawn point, so we have infinite. But the goal is these are useful for bosses. You can also use them for stunning enemies, but our main interest is to kill these bosses as fast as possible. So this is Edo Town. It has the tightest cycle, which I might not make now. So there's a very specific setup to make sure that that monkey works out for you, and then you make it underneath that laser cycle. So that's the really good cycle. We want to make that. If we don't, we get an alert. And in this game, some alerts are fine. Other alerts are very, very bad. If one happens, I will explain why. Otherwise, most of this, like I said, is just running through. You'll notice that I'm not actually collecting some of these dog tags yet. That's because I have to repass through all of these areas anyway. So there's no point in turning around to collect a dog tag that flew behind Peepo Snake, because that's just an inconvenience. So that was a small sequence break to jump over the railing. And then as long as I get out of this room quick enough, I don't have to worry about any kind of alert or anything happening there. This is the second boss. There's 2 methods for fighting this guy. He dies in 2 explosions, and those explosions can come from you landing grenades on him, or if you don't land the grenade on him, he shoots rockets at you. In that case, we never saw a rocket, but they do the same amount of damage as a grenade landing on him. So this that's right in front of us, this is watermelon bombs. These are what we need to free prisoners, and we had to come all this way in order to successfully start freeing them. So now that we have that, we can start freeing prisoners here. You also notice I'm not hopping straight. That's because I'm not the greatest with the PS2 analog stick, I'll be completely honest. The straighter your lines is, the more time save you have, but that's only super relevant for one cycle. You also notice I just dived into my watermelon bomb there. Watermelon bombs don't actually do damage to you if you're in a dive or a PPK animation. So you can take advantage of that. Ooh, let's not have that happen. Okay, that happened. So you see that gate that came up? That actually, in some areas, happens. And when that gate comes up, it prevents you from finishing an area. So we're going to want to avoid alerts for that reason. Ooh. And you'll notice that watermelon bomb just did a full tick of damage to me. In the top left are these things called cookies in Ape Escape. You have 10 hits of machine gun or 5 hits of explosives of any kind. Rockets, bombs, grenades, doesn't matter. So we want to not get excessively killed, which really you only take damage from yourself or alerts. Thankfully, this alert, while it does induce a lot of lag, is not a major time loss due to the fact that there's not a gate between me and the place I need to go anytime soon. So the thing is, if a guard sees me at any point during any of this time, it will refresh the alert. So now I do have to wait this out. So technically losing about 10 seconds here, but it's better than triggering the alert because I'd be coming up on a gate that I would have to get through. You also notice that only the third hit of a melee combo new strat? Monka S, dude? Okay, cool. That's a new strat. So you can crawl over that railing. Okay. So yeah, sorry, that threw me off. I did not know that. So these lasers, as you just saw there, have absolutely atrocious hitboxes. The goal is to not trigger an alert, because now we'll be stuck waiting at a wall. But that gives you time to see what would normally happen. So during an alert, I obviously have to wait 30, but you also want to crouch because crouching reduces the vision range of the peepos by quite a large amount. So they would have to basically get, if you look at that second line of bricks, they'd have to basically get there to see me. And standing up actually would influence them to run more this way. And they'd see me from much earlier if I stood up. A good thing about this game, an interesting thing about this game is that if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan for 1, 2, or 3, there's gonna be something in this game for you that you'll love. Or hate, I don't know. There's a little bit at every game from those 3 in here. You won't see much of the pause menu, but the pause menu is reminiscent of 3. Gameplay has levels reminiscent of 1. Themes and snake design is reminiscent of 2. Okay, this is another skip. So because we didn't hit that button, we have to skip back across. And that's the way to do it. There's just a little thing you can jump through there. To every game possible. So now you'll notice we're back at the first level. We had to come all the way back here because there is a large number of cracked walls in this level that we couldn't get to before to free the prisoners. But now we have watermelon bombs. We are capable of coming back and placing them. Thankfully, the peepos in this game are pretty, they're like genome soldiers level of blind and deaf. They'll definitely hear the bomb go off, but they won't see you unless you actively walk into them like that. This area we only visit twice, and this is our second and last time visiting, so we do need to grab all of the tags while we're here. I might not be able to make a cycle now where I hop over that railing to get out of this room. Yeah, I definitely won't this way. I'll still go for it. Oh, okay, we got it. So yeah, on sloped railings, you can actually hop over them to descend faster. It's useful on a couple of them. And that's that cycle. Skip again. So this is the last time visiting this level. So again, we're collecting the last little bit of Peepo tags here. You have to collect all of these. Ooh, don't fall. And free all of the prisoners, as I said. There's 20 Peepo tags, 30 prisoners. I think that's the number. It might be the other way around. There's 20 and 30, and we'll see at the end screen how many I have. Thankfully, unlike most Metal Gear games, credits in this one are relatively short. And by that I mean basically non-existent. Another thing is, as long as I'm in a dive animation, these bombs won't actually do any damage to me. So you can just dive straight through them without any consequence. Alright, so now we have to make this cycle again. We have to do it one more time. So I actually did a short hop and then a long hop there. If you press the hop button while you have forward motion, then you'll actually jump further than if you press it when you had no motion. And that is only useful for that monkey specifically, because if you don't do that, you can't make that rather tight cycle. If you play this game casually, and you try to sneak through those lasers, you'll experience what I mean with those lasers having awful hitboxes. So, unlike last time where we hopped over the side, this time we're going to hop over the front and just straight up leave Edo Town. And now we have to get one more tag. And now we're moving on to Southern Resort, which is the level where I picked up watermelon bombs for the first time. So this level is really roundabout. You have to go left, and then you have to go right, and then you have to go left again. The point of this level is there is a gate that is being held shut by a couple of contraptions, and we need to destroy them all using watermelon bombs, which is why we first get them here. You'll also notice I triggered an alert. And that's because, unlike most of the other levels, getting an alert here not only doesn't spawn backup, but it also doesn't cause any lag. Whereas the other alerts typically cause lag from the backup spawning alone. That was one of the machines. The way you get them is you're intended to go into these buildings, but there's other ways. You can just hit them through the wall. So we have precise spots for all of them that when we place a watermelon bomb, it will hit them and blow them up through the wall, which is nice. Otherwise, we'd have to go all the way around. So there are 3 monkeys in this room. The nice thing about getting an alert here is that you can lure all 3 monkeys to the same spot. So those are 2 of them. Now we'll have to get the the last yellow monkey in this room. But that won't be too hard because he has a pretty set spawn. And then we have to come all the way up here for a prisoner that's located really far out of the way. Ooh. You'll see that shotgun is continually doing a full damage to me. That's Shotguns are extremely painful. Oh, I got shot. So if you die in this game, it loses about 10 seconds for the end screen, regardless of travel time. Which, interestingly enough, despite the fact you may think, oh, you're all the way back there, why not just take the death abuse? That's probably faster anyway. It's actually not. It's faster to just dive all the way back and get some fresh ammo and grenades. Unfortunately, because of that death and the location of that red monkey, we are going to have to wait out an alert at this gate. But think alerts and stuff tick down during cutscenes, providing no monkeys see you, as that monkey annoyingly did. So now we're stuck at this gate. And this is a true time loss. This is one of those 30 seconds, because that's 10 seconds of real time each phase that you have to sit through, which is really unfortunate, but you can't help it. So now we're at the boss of Eversummer Island. This boss is a giant elephant, and this boss will go two ways. One of two ways. Either he will never move forward and we'll destroy him on the spot, or he'll start walking forward and he'll potentially start sucking us with his trunk. Which, if that happens, we're going to be put in a questionable spot. But thankfully it didn't happen. So we're just going to sit here, wait, because collision will push us back as long as there are still elephant parts on the ground. Collect these new tags. Monkey tags fly out of whichever way the Peepo is actually facing at the time. So when the Peepo was facing away, it kicked the monkey tag that way, and I had to actually go all the way down to grab him. This is the final area before the final boss. So we're on the last stretch now. All we gotta do is collect the last couple of Peepo tags and prisoners. No more backtracking, just item collecting if we need it. Sorry, watermelon bombs and stuff if we need it, and then the mandatory items to beat the game. We also don't care if we get an alert here. It does create a lot of lag, but there's no gate that we get locked behind. So it's not run ending. Alright. So, the amount of bombs that you get across that bridge with is actually very, very important, because it determines whether you could go left, up, right. There's a lot of... You have 3 directions there, and if you accidentally go the wrong path and run out of watermelon bombs, the next set is just kind of far away, unfortunately. Collect world record? Yeah. Alright, so there is 2 prisoners left and 1 dog tag left. So this is the last dog tag. Second to last prisoner. Grab that. Jump over the wall. And now we're going to go grab the last prisoner, which annoyingly requires 2 watermelon bombs to get to. Pick up some backup pineapple grenades to make the final boss easier. And now we're on our way to the final boss. We're taking advantage of the fact that we can dive through explosions here to not get hit by them, even though we're getting hit by them. Because if you end your dive as a bomb hits you, you still tank the explosion, unfortunately. So here you're going to see Snake from MGS 2.5 and Peepalot from a game. We're actually going to collect all those pineapple grenades, and then instead of immediately heading to the boss, we're going to turn around and then re-enter in order to collect even more pineapple grenades. So now that we have 36, we're really set. Unfortunately, we're missing a watermelon bomb. So we're going to have to try to get Mesal Gear to hit itself with its own attacks. Which it has a couple that it can do that on. That charge attack is the main way to capitalize on watermelon bombs. That machine gun attack is the most common attack. It's also the most annoying attack because he will continually chase you, and it will stagger you, causing you to drop a pineapple grenade if you were mid-throw with it. So now we're hoping for good RNG, and unfortunately... Ooh, this is the good RNG we want. See, he dropped pineapple grenades, and he actually blew himself up. I'm going to look away to reduce lag. And now we're at the final boss. So, People-Lot will actually break out of your combo and hurt you randomly with every third hit with that spin, unless you are pushing against a wall and... Oh, that was time, by the way. Unless you're pushing against a wall and him at the same time. So as long as you're pushing against both of them together, he won't be able to break out and stagger you. And yeah, that's Mesal Gear Solid. All dog tags, all prisoners, 100%. That's also world record right there if I collected everything. Is it possible to avoid that second pickup? You mean re-entering the room? No. Well, technically yes, but it's not very safe. And when I say not very safe, I mean you're talking like maybe 5% chance of success if you do that. It's highly not worth avoiding that second pickup on New Game. On New Game Plus, you can absolutely avoid the second pickup. But on New Game, I would never suggest that. Even World Record does that extra pickup because the minimum amount you need is 33 pineapples and 2 watermelons. Yeah, the time save. You physically... I don't think you could beat the boss with 18 pineapple grenades. Hey! There we go. So when you finish this game, you need to show that you unlocked the monster cap and that you collected all the tags. And that's Mesal Gear. GG.